Has it come through?
There might be a delay, not yet. Keep refreshing. Not yet.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Are we through now? Are we live,
Yeah.
Gergely?
We are live indeed.
That is amazing. And so welcome everybody to the Engineering Signal. Today it's Sunday the 7th of June and we're pretty much halfway through the year. It's good to see everybody. So I'm James McLeod. I'm your host with my counterpart Gergely, who is also here with me. And so Gergely, I'm going to share the screen so everybody can see both you and I together. So let me see, can I get you on here too? There we go. So welcome to the Engineering Signal, Gergely. It's really good to see you been this week.
Yeah, very good, James. Nice to catch up with you again. Yeah, been good. From a technology perspective, I've been a little bit overwhelmed with everything that's changing in the industry. But personally, I'm feeling great. There's some accomplishments. Last week it was the 6th week of my training program, so I had the chance to do some heavy weightlifting things, which was really exciting, and also work is exciting. The weather is getting better and better, and I have something interesting to show everybody on the stream. It's not groundbreaking, but hopefully it's gonna bring some value to everyone.
Well, if it's got to do with AI, and if it's been, developed using any of the LLMs and any of the technologies that have, are constantly updating, then it pretty much is groundbreaking, so this is kind of like the endpoint of, using all of these new tools. And so, why don't you just go for it? So, the show is yours, and then I'll be your co-pilot. I'll be your human co-pilot. So if you need anything from me, just call. But, go for it, Gergely. It's over to you.
Right. So I'm going to share the screen on Google Meets. So please let me know if you're able to share that on the screen. So you should be seeing now HTML7, right? You see tiny web apps made by people. Hopefully you see that right now.
Yeah, I'm going to make myself very small. There we go. So people can see you and they can see a little me in the corner. And so, yeah, that's looking really neat. That's looking really good. You might want to enlarge it just a little bit if you can make your Chrome just a little bit bigger.
Like this?
Yeah.
Is it better?
Yes. I'm going to eat a lolly whilst you're doing this.
Yeah, go ahead. So a little bit of background for everyone on this. I'm not going to show you a lot around development itself. This is more around what we can achieve through having a vision and being a product-minded engineer going to allow you to achieve through the use of AI. So I developed HTML7 with Claude Code, but overall the idea came from, and actually let me share my screen on the top. I'm going to share my whole screen with you. Screen 2. I think, am I sharing? So if I start this, so you see this code now, right? Correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I have created something here. This was initially HTML7 started with this. HTML7 started with very simple.
So I don't know whether we're seeing a wallpaper. I don't know if this is the right monitor that you're sharing.
It is not the right monitor I'm sharing. Come on.
So you need a keen eye. You need a keen eye for screen shares to know that the wrong thing is being shared.
So this is how HTML7 started. Initially, what I have realized early in the whole AI game, that there is one value that's really that was super valuable for me, is creating, before we started the podcast, is that creating HTML5 and HTML applications is that simple and takes minutes. So when somebody was looking after my dog when I was away, I created this application that allows them to, and I'm going to open it so people can see. It allows them to know exactly what they have to do with my dog, how to look after it, blah, blah, blah. And it started here. I created a Discord channel where people can contribute and look at it and use it. So if I bring it up here, you're going to find the poodle guide somewhere at the bottom, I think.
So you do have a poodle. So this is like a real life thing.
We do have a poodle. And obviously this information is a little bit outdated, but you can see this was old AI. This is an old AI HTML5 application. And it's very simple. People were able to just, what's the daily routine, when to feed it, even behavior, what happens in emergency during behavior, excitement, attention seeking, social and play behavior, toilet habits. And I realized an HTML5 application, if I send them on WhatsApp, after that it's sent, it's downloaded, it sits on their WhatsApp message. They don't need internet to access this. So wherever they are, they just need their phone and they can access, and they know what to do in the parks, indoor, medical, emergency. They know where the vet is that we usually go to, and they know him. They know that they have asthma, and so on and so on.
So your dog actually has doggy asthma?
My dog has doggy asthma and has tiny inhalers. It's adorable. We need to give him an inhaler, and he has like love. But he's an adorable, cute dog. And that started with, I said, actually, there might be other people doing the same thing. So I started to create a Discord community. But then I realized, what's the best way to share this? Is not necessarily having it here, because it's not really visualized and people can't just use it off the shelf. They have to download it. If you're not so technical, it's not as easy. So I bought the domain HTML Heaven, and I started to, and as you can see, it's very easy here. You just click it and you can launch the app.
So HTML Heaven is your HTML5 application container that you have been working on. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And we have, I think random code generator. I think that was from one of our streams.
Yeah.
That was from one of our streams that we created this. So we have some things here, but I realized if I provide a place for people to submit and create their own HTML application, and I tell them how to do it, then we have something that we can share with a community and use it as a community. For example, and I realized this almost sounds like to me as an AI social media platform, where you're able to comment, upvote, and save others' application if you find them useful. For example, this is a deficit calculator application. It's just very simply, as you can see, this is further in the AI sphere when applications are a little bit better. But you can change your daily calorie intake, and that changes the intake you need to have, so you can keep yourself in calorie deficit but not lose muscle. This is specifically for me.
Wow.
But it gives you recipes and a certain calorie amounts, which just changes. So it's 638 calories for breakfast. If I pull it down, it goes down to 506. It's that simple, and probably a lot of programmers could do this without AI, but this is not necessarily for people who know programming. And then that started to develop more and more and focus on, somebody contributed, probably one of my friends, looked at home. This is a research paper on the Hungary's housing market in 2026. So somebody used an HTML5 application to create a article from their research, which is really cool. That was contributed. That happened. That was actually, I don't know who did this. I seen this today, but it's really, really interesting. And then I realized, and this is what I think is the innovation in this, is you remember I was working with MCP servers, and I created this project where I created a architecture translation layer for different protocols that communicate with AI softwares. And MCP server was one of them. But as the industry rapidly changes, there was a change that almost makes MCP servers obsolete. And those are the emergence of different skills. And when we mean what I mean by skills, those are MD files, markdown files that the AI or the LLM can read and understand the skills around conventions for Java, test-driven development, anything. And then just simply, or Figma, and just through the use of an API key, if you define your API key in your project and you have a skill related to that API key. So for example, let's say that's Figma, you don't need an MCP server to Figma anymore because you have an API key, so the LLM has access to it, and you also have a skill that defines every single capability within Figma. So the MCP server is completely obsolete and it's much easier to set up. So things started to escalate towards a direction that we are, and I started to think about this, how we are enabling the LLM to work together with the human and the tool if we are not going to utilize MCP servers, but we're going to use markdown files in the repositories. So I had an idea. What if we are stepping away from traditional way of defining skills and we visualize the skills we want to have for a human to be able to consume it, but also the LM is able to consume it and the visualization is not necessary. And that's where I came to the decision to introduce a new thing of defining some of these HTML5 applications. The user can define them as skills because it's an HTML5 application. The metadata is here already when you open it. So the LLM can open this and have the metadata. For example, here's an Unreal Engine 5 cheat sheet. The LLM can open this and read everything that's in here about best practices, what to do when around AI and behavior, networking, word partition, optimization. Obviously, this is specifically around content creation and video game development, but the skill is here. You have an API key to your project, you have an API key, or simply Unreal Engine 5 usually runs on your PC, so you don't have to set up anything. But the HTML file becomes a skill. But if the human wants to review this, either as a skill or just review this as a source of information or a golden source to understanding packaging, for example, in Unreal Engine 5, then it can, because it's visualized much, much better and much more interactive than an MD file. And then I started to think about this. I think this is the future of skills for AI, that we're moving away from MD files towards HTML5 applications. So currently, I am reshaping HTML Heaven into this is an open source application, by the way, so everyone can contribute to it. It's right here. Very happy to share it in the comments later. It's around under an MIT license, so anybody can contribute as much as they want to. I updated the README, but I started to push this vision that let's use this as not just something that can be either used but consumed by the human, consumed by the machine, but both at the same time, and it's much easier to look through it. So this is where I'm currently at. I'm going to stop there if you have any questions, James, because it's less coding and less, more around talking about my product vision.
Yeah, I think that this is really good, and so I was internalizing, quite a few thoughts on this as you were going through. Now, what was I thinking first? So this entire HTML Heaven setup reminds me of some of the online marketplaces so Chris, who both you and I know through work, is also the lead maintainer of a project called FTC3, which is an interoperability standard that allows HTML5 web apps to send information across the DOM to each other. And so it's like an interoperability standard for sending data. So disconnected applications can actually communicate with each other, even if they're not aware that they are within the same page, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Because the interoperability standard has certain interfaces that you can subscribe to, and each application, like what you have here, would subscribe to something called an intent. So if one application triggers an intent to send any form of information, the ones that subscribe to that, it's almost like a pub sub type model.
Yeah.
They would, receive that information and react to it. And so I was looking at this thinking, wow, because I remember conceptually when you had this idea, it was when we were doing our Vibe Code challenges, and we would get
Yeah.
some real kind of, what is it, random stuff appearing, which, it had real value. There were, HTML5 applications that gave, quotes, and some of them was, how to make £1 million, and stuff like this. It was like real fun, disconnected, HTML5 apps. But there is a mechanism where, they could become aware of each other, and send information to each other in some way. So that first came to mind. And then the second thing that came to mind is when you were describing, being able to communicate a skill through an HTML5 written, document. I remember there was like a micro format that was defined. When people have signatures, like on LinkedIn, you would have your, your name, who you work for, what your bio is, all of these different things. There was a HTML standard, I think, around micro formats, that was a standard, but it was like an embeddable standard within an HTML document. And so if, for instance, an application or, or a browser even, came across one of these micro formats or
Hmm.
information defined in one of these micro formats, it
Hmm.
would render it in a different way, or it will react to it in a different way and kind of use it to create like a, I can't remember what you call it. It was like not an iCal, but almost like a business card. You could almost see an agentic, version or standard of that. So rather than having loosely defined HTML pages, for
Hmm.
agents to interpret, which is going to burn tokens, because it's going to have to consume a lot of data, because you've got a lot of stuff that can
Indeed.
go into an HTML application. So you've got all of the transient, or you've got all of the dependencies that kind of like coming through CSS and other forms of, maybe even JavaScript dependencies. And then you've got inline, attributes that come into the page as well, that can then be manipulated by the DOM. You've got lots of HTML embedding, depending on how people render the pages. Everybody's different and they have their own interpretation of how to make things visually appealing. It would be really good if there was, a mechanism or a standard that when you have certain tags within the DOM, you can say, well, actually, this is an agentic description. It might be deeply embedded. It could be at the bottom of the page. It could be at the top of the page. So
I mean,
an
that's
age.
the when it comes to skills, that's the metadata
Mm,
that sits at the very top, and only the metadata is um, read and observed every single time by the LLM,
yeah,
and only if the metadata contains those tags that makes it worthy for the LLM to further explore, then it explores it. Otherwise, it moves on to the next one.
that is true.
Um,
But what I'm thinking is, does it have to bring the entire HTML page into its context for it to be able to search or analyze for that metadata? So I'm not sure how a browser works. I don't know if a browser kind of loads from the top down and then it finds the
Oh, right.
metadata,
Okay.
and then it doesn't do anything further. I'm wondering whether, an agent or an LLM would need to bring the entire context of that HTML page plus anything else that it depends on into itself for it to then figure out whether there's something of value within it. I don't know how it
Could it
kind of.
be? Could it be that just specifically for HTML7, there could be a catalog page that is the first thing that gets exposed to the LLM, and the catalog page only contains a good amount of information and it's constantly updated as it updates, but only has that as you described, that uses that micro format for the HTML application, and that's basically the first
Yeah.
gate. That's actually such a good idea.
So what you need to teach an agent is not to render. Right. So let me think. It's not necessarily to consume and then navigate the text. It's almost
Yeah,
like an agent needs to be looking at the DOM of the HTML page and navigating the DOM. Just in the same way as you would do using JavaScript. You'll navigate the DOM. You
yeah.
don't interpret the text each time. You just go straight into the DOM. I'm looking, so I'm going to look up to see if I've find a reference to the HTML micro formats. Is it micro? Right. So I might lose you for a second here. Micro. And what I'm going to do, Gergely, is I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see it.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So can you see this? I'm
Yes.
going to make it a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I can see it.
I'm really hoping that I'm sharing the right stuff here. If I've come to
You
like something which is totally different.
are you not trying to share your beach pictures from your last holiday? Because that's what we see.
You're
We
seeing
just see your...
pictures from my holiday.
I'm just kidding. You just
That's hilarious.
you running in a speedo on the beach. That's what we're seeing right now.
Damn, you're seeing my other tab. That's hilarious. Right. So let me see. I haven't looked at this for a very, very, very long time. And so it could be that I've actually come to something incorrect. But from what I remember, micro formats was a way for you to define, something quite small in a bigger HTML page.
Right.
So if I go, in fact, I'm not going to launch a different. So classic micro formats have been serving the web community need to extend HTML's expressive power since 2004. Through an evolutionary, open, rigorous community process and human-first design principles, structured use of the class and rel attributes have paved the cow paths of publishing data about people, places, events, reviews, products, and more. Micro formats too is the next big effort by the community to improve how micro formats are authored. So let's see if I can find. So yeah, so you use class v card, and then you define it in between this span. And so I'm not saying that this is how you would absolutely do it. So here you can see there's a div here with a class H card, and then you've got various different elements within it. And so because of the way that div has actually been described within that class, when you pass it through the DOM, you'll know that anything that's between that H card class can also be passed as a micro format. And so if you were to have like a business card, I know that this is an old school kind of, metaphor, but, if you've got, I think in like 2004 when it kind of came out, it was like, well, there's no need for business cards to be printed anymore. We can define that in our HTML pages, like what you're saying about the way that skills are written. But we can, make sure that it's machine readable by defining what it is that we need between, this class H card down here, and then everything else that's written in between here is HTML, because when it actually comes to how it's rendered within the browser, it's also got to be rendered in a way that the browser doesn't break or it doesn't look crazy, if that makes sense. And so it's got to fit into the flow and the design of the page itself. And so this is what I'm thinking for, the example that you're given for a skill, because within HTML heaven, you've got some, really lovely, precisely designed HTML5 pages, but you want those same pages to be able to describe what it is that the agent needs to read as well without breaking the CSS. And so this is what this type of micro formatting could do. You could have everything that you want an agent to read in between specific divs, and then anything outside of that, it doesn't actually read it. So here it's got like an article. You could actually have a skill tag. So anything with skill, the machine, the agent reads, and then anything in between that tag is there for the purpose of the agent, and then anything outside of that, the agent doesn't use, it doesn't engage with that. What are your thoughts about that, Gergely?
I think that's very interesting. Basically, you're finding a way to make it simple for the LLM to consume the HTML, so it's not as expensive, but at the
Yeah,
same time keeping in the same format.
but the
Um,
the advantage that like JavaScript would have is that JavaScript reads from the DOM rather than reading the text and then interpreting the text.
mhm.
Whereas an agent will, I assume, unless it actually builds some form of DOM mechanism, which isn't beyond comprehension. I mean, you can do anything using AI. It will
Yeah,
interpret the text, like, so a skill that you download, from the Anthropic site, it reads the text and interprets that as a prompt, and so that would be the only difference.
that's very interesting. Yeah, and I think this is why these sessions are really good for us, because I'm learning a lot from this. What I want to, my vision is, right, is to introduce something that allows, and I'm going to start testing it in a way that I'm going to introduce skills in HTML format. Excuse me. And I'm going to see how much does it cost and how long does it take to develop something utilizing those skills.
Yeah,
That's the general idea.
I think that's a, if you can, because the interesting thing about where we are right now is that people visualize things, and the vision sits with themselves, and convincing people about that vision has sometimes been quite tricky. But the great thing now is that you can actually start realizing it. You can start building out proof of concepts and
Yep,
giving it a shot. And in truth, HTML pages, they're only kind of like a few kilobytes. It's probably, no more than downloading a markdown file. Right, I'm trying to just square myself again so I can get a little bit bigger and in the right place. Give me one
that's all
second.
right.
Right, that would do. That would do. Yeah, so I think that that's actually really good. I think that conceptually that is a really good idea, because it makes something machine readable and it also makes something human readable, and also in a format that, I would say is human first, because CSS and UX and design, makes systems human kind of engagement or whatever the word is. It makes it
Yeah.
human first. Um, so yeah, I'm really interested in exploring that. I think that that is actually really good. I think that that's a really good idea that you've got.
So I think that's a natural transition into something nostalgic a little bit, and maybe doing a wee challenge between each other for coding. What do you think?
Yeah, we can give it a shot. We can give it a shot. I don't see
Do you
why
want to
not.
do your and at top of the head? So don't generate anything. You don't generate the prompt for me. Like just tell me on the top of your head when it's your turn. Just tell me what you want, and it's my job to bring it up. And we can share the screen and show the we can do a time limit on it, but let's say 5 minutes each. Make the best out of the rambling of the other person.
Yeah, definitely. So do I need to? So do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Do you have? I have no idea what I'm going to ask you to do. Do you have any idea what you're going to ask me to do?
Let me think. I actually quite like the idea of doing something quite functional. And not totally random. I mean, we did some pretty random things,
Yeah,
before. I actually built something. I remember there was one week where you were unable to make it. And so I explored using, local storage on Chrome to actually
yeah,
hold some state. Um, so I think it'll be really good if you could, build, let me think, maybe extend, and I'm not saying use your Poodle, application, but, if you could have like a directory of, different types of dogs, where you could register your own dog and put it, in a just like a register. So if it was like so you've got your, okay, so if there is a business that looks after dogs, and they take the dogs for walks, for people at lunchtime, and people want to engage with that business, because that person's got to understand your dog, what your dog likes, whether it's friendly, whether it, is good going on walks, all of this type of stuff. It'd be good
yeah,
if I could go onto that website and pick my breed from their business. And then against that breed, I can, give the dog its name. I can say whether it's male or female. I can, say how old it is. I can say what its favorite food is, how far it can actually go for a walk, whether it can go off lead, all of that type of stuff. And then also what days of the week, you would like your dog walked as well. When do you want me to come pick it up? I'm not expecting you to kind of, understand how that type of business operates. It could
yeah,
be that you actually ask the LLM to generate that business for you, and so all of those criteria, the LLM might actually create that. You could say, create a dog walking business, and I need, a website that can hold, um, a registry of different dogs with different breeds and all of the attributes I need in order to be able to understand my customers, something like that, and just see what the LLM does, see if it will actually build that website for you. But
I am already. So I'm going to share my screen as you
so
keep
you've already
going.
done it.
No, I'm doing it. I'm writing down your idea. So it can be an HTML5 application, but that's just going to pretend that it holds the information. So we would have to this would probably include the database, but for now, keep it simple. SKPOC. I'm gonna say keep it simple as a proof of concept,
Yeah, it could go a little bit crazy.
but worry about databases, and deploy.
Yeah.
Data. I'm gonna say should it be an HTML5 application or
Yeah, do it HTML5. Otherwise, it'll take you all night. I mean, I've fallen down that rabbit hole. I said build it in React, and it took me like 2 hours.
Right, so it's doing it. So it's on auto mode, so I'm not authorizing anything. I'm just gonna sit back and relax and enjoy the ride.
Yeah,
You know
that's really
that
cool.
meme when like they sitting in the back of a van. Hold on, I'll show you this video. I'm gonna while this is working, I'll bring it up on the screen.
So I'm going to ask you a few questions because you're using Opus 4.8. Was that a decision that you've made for this application?
For this application, yes. I usually don't go for the latest models because I have no idea what they do. But because we are doing a little bit of vibe coding and experimentation here, I figured maybe it's time to test it out. Let's see how it works.
So I'm going to do the same then. I'm going to do the same. And I'm going to try something a little bit different. So you can give me as much complexity as you need. The only thing that will slow this down is my ability to write the prompt, if I'm going to be honest with you. And that has been my entire limitation throughout all of these 5Go challenges. But I'm actually really intrigued by this. The other thing that I need to do is kind of like start up a terminal and get that up and running at the same time as well. And so people will kind of see me figuring this out in real time, which I don't mind. You know, I mean, that's all part of the fun.
Right, I found it. This is me right now. This is me writing code.
Yeah. That's really funny. What's it saying? I'll build this. Oh, look, it's actually.
I built this a single file with a local storage for persistent, no database needs for the proof of concept. Let me create. So, done.
Oh, look, it's done it. Yeah, that's like putting some bread in the toaster, isn't it? All of a sudden, it's kind of you think, I'm waiting, and then all of a sudden it goes, ting. Oh my goodness, that's pretty awesome.
That's adorable. That's absolutely adorable.
Are you telling me that that's what it's just created, and you just didn't Google that?
John Doe. I'm not gonna give my actual email address here. Dog. Biscuit, I like that name. Biscuit. Selected breed. Right, there is a bunch of breeds. So it's a Rottweiler. Age 30. Size giant. Energy level. It's a very tornado. So yeah, so I wanted it to give me options, but actually free-field as well. Playful, anxious, confident, reactive, bit of everything. Who's all the puppy? A 30-year-old puppy.
You could start this business tomorrow, Gergely.
Yeah. Preferred walk length, 45, 60 minutes, 5 to 7. You see, walks per week, there should be walks per day, but it doesn't matter. Lunchtime, flexible and early morning. Right, so there is Biscuit here.
Yeah.
And then that can be used by the so you could this could change. You could make this into that you create the profile as a little ticket, and dog walkers can create their own profiles, and the dog walker can almost I don't use any of these because I'm engaged, but I remember back in the day when I was using Tinder, you can make them match and people can swipe on the dogs where they're based and so on and so on, and they can match. And people can match, and it can be a business where people can say, because obviously it's a business. For some people, it's living to walk dogs, but it's a lot of people like myself unnaturally treat their dogs like their kids, right?
Yeah.
So if you're able to find the right person and gamify it a little bit, that could be really good as well. So it's not a business where I'm doing all the walking. It's people who sign up do the walking. The people who sign up their dogs. It's just little cards and people very easily can find it. And it
Yeah.
has all the detail on it.
You could have like a little, if your dog's got like an Apple tag, you could have like a little map on there, like that shows you where your dog is on the map
Yeah.
with the walker.
Improve on this, make it crazy. Let's see what happens. And then we go back to yours. But this is actually such a good idea. So how it works, the pack, meet the pack. Every dog registered here with happy trails, with details that make their walk special.
See, that's the thing, Gergely. I'm full of great ideas. Great like that. £1 million idea. You know, yep, dog walkers.
Kompati walker dashboard with stars filtering, walking book, and CSV JSON export. No backend.
Oh, when you say make it crazy, I mean, you know, that could be interpreted. That's so ambiguous.
That is ambiguous, but I sometimes for fun and for the sake of get it, not allowing a small town in America to have water. I know that's actually not funny.
Do you
That's
know the other thing, right, is that you didn't commit it to anything, and so that craziness could blow the idea of the dog walking, and it could.
Oh yeah. That will override it. That will
committed to a repo. Committed to a repo.
I can't do it anymore. It's changing it. It's done.
Yeah,
it's happening. It's eating. Look at that.
Yeah.
So how many tokens was this?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see. You have to take a look at how much usage you've got left on your day.
Oh, I'm fine.
It's been created by 4.8, so I don't know.
Oh, I'll be fine because I never ever ran out of tokens.
No, I mean, in comparison to anything else that you can do, it's peanuts.
Yeah.
So tell me, how did you turn auto mode on?
I don't remember.
So I can see. So it says shift
I
tab
can rotate
to cycle.
through it. See?
Ah, yeah. Okay.
I don't remember if I have installed it and then turned it on, or I installed it in auto mode originally.
Yeah, because I know within the Claude directory in your root, you can actually turn it on using the config settings. But you can also turn it on by using one of the settings in Claude Code itself. You know, so you don't necessarily need to keep it persistently on, because in the bottom left you can see it says auto mode on.
Yes.
And that's where you use shift and tab to cycle that. Yeah. It's highly likely that I won't have auto mode on unless I ask it to turn it on. Maybe I can ask it to turn it on.
It never. So I have rules set, like guardrails set for it that it adheres to. For example, it never commits or pushes anything, even in auto mode, without my confirmation.
Yeah.
So I introduced very early some guardrails to save some headaches. But if you want to, we can switch to you.
I don't know. I'm quite like looking this moonwalking Claude Code terminal.
I am actually. Well, we can look at it again. What happened when it's crazy? It's gonna be horribly disgusting.
Yeah.
Now it's nice. It's a nice design, almost like something. This looks like the website that you will see in Sims for the dog walking business. That's what.
Yeah,
anyway,
it does.
Let me torture you a little bit. Hold on. Let me stop sharing. Let me give you something completely unfunctional and stupid, because we need a good balance of both.
No worries. Let me see what you can see. Okay. There we go. So straight to terminal. The engineering signal. There was it 7th of June. 7th of June.
7th of June, indeed.
2026. Claude. Claude. There we are. So let me make sure that I get my model done. Why hasn't it got? It's only got 4.7 on there. Cheeky.
Do you not change it?
That's fine. It's okay. I don't mind. I won't. I don't know why it's only got a 4.7 on there, but I think 4.7 is plenty enough. I think that, yeah.
I think you need to update it, by the way. That's all.
Maybe I need to. Oh, do you know what it is? It's because I'm using Homebrew, and I'm using the, what is it? The major release through Homebrew, because I was actually following the minor releases, and I came a little bit unstuck by doing that, because I was actually hitting some of the bugs that you have when you're part of the beta testing team.
Right.
And so my Homebrew is only following the major releases, and so it could be the 4.8 hasn't quite hit the major releases yet.
Could be.
But that's something for me to, kind of look into. But it does kind of like stop what I was going to do a little bit, but that's fine. That's fine. That's I'm going to make me just a little bit bigger, if that's okay.
Could you please share it on Google Meets as well?
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Thank you. Oh, by the way, it's done. It have completed.
Okay. Did you want to show or do you
No.
want to show off mine?
No. I think we go with you first.
Okay, that's cool. So let me share my entire screen with you.
Nice. Okay.
Can you see Claude?
I can see Claude, indeed.
Right. Okay. So let me make sure that everybody else can see Claude as well. Come then, Gergely. So hit me. What do you need me to do?
I want you to build an application.
Yeah.
For people who are interested in joinery.
Joinery? Is that right? Joinery?
I don't know how to write it. Woodworking. People who work like at constructions, the people who work with wood.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not sure if I pronounced it correctly, but
no, you did. It was perfect.
I want you to have a guide for Japanese style, English style, and Swedish.
Yeah.
With visualization. That's it.
And that's it.
That's it.
Okay.
You can change the prompt as much as you want to.
Okay, I will do. What? So that's it. It's just you want people to see joinery, like woodwork.
I want people to be able to. Actually, I originally wanted a guide, but then I realized that would be too easy. So that's it. An application about joinery. I want to see what it does. I'll be honest with you. I don't want to spoon feed it to do a guide.
Okay, no problem.
Nice.
Time frame.
So I'm really curious because I find that I was thinking joinery and woodwork, and that's kind of those kind of professions. Nobody really worries about AI there, right?
Yeah.
Because these kind of jobs require craftsmanship. How fast can so my question is, how well an AI tool can understand professions that involves craftsmanship that's not a technological craftsmanship or
Okay.
absolutely cutting edge design
Design
system. Yep. You're gonna put together something that you can sell to like
and
modern
3D.
design companies.
Yes. For people who are interested in building modern.
There's one more sentence that I want you to add at the end, if that's okay.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. The styles and fashions that should be covered are Japanese, English, Swedish, with a high class of visualization. Okay, go for it.
Last sentence is, tell it that you are starting a project to build a cabin, and you want to finish it in 2 weeks. So give you a guide on how to do it from ground up using wood planks.
In from the ground up.
I'm curious if it's going to gaslight you into thinking that you can do it.
Oh, I thought I nearly scrubbed it there. Right, I'm just going to have to go with that. I'm just going to have to go with it. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Right, so the prompt is use this. No. Right, so
No.
1 second.
You have to copy that out. Yeah.
This has actually given me an opportunity as well. Oh, what is going on with my... What is going on?
What is going on?
Yeah, this is what happens, eh?
Let's see if you get the new models.
Ultra
plan. Ultra plan.
Right. So it says usage ultra plan prompt, right? So
oh boy.
There we go. Oh, cannot launch remote session. Background tasks required. Requires a Git repo. Initialize Git or run from a Git repository. Right, doesn't matter. Let's see what happens. I might be doing it locally, because it actually needs a remote repo, but it could be. I don't know what it's going to do. I don't know what it's going to do. Oh, I could be here for like 24 hours whilst this ultra plan goes through. Well, it's listed in the directory. It's probably going to black my entire GitHub, reinvent kind of like the world. Oh, look, that's pretty cool. I'll build this as a single page right. So what's it asking me there? It's not asking me anything. Right. So it's got two local agents. Uh, Background agents launch, Japanese wasabi cabin research, English Cotswold cabin research, Swedish Stuga cabin research, 14-day cabbage build timeline, cabin build.
Cabbage.
Oh, look, it's done its it's done its English Cotswold cabin research. Ah, I'm pleased that
20,000
done
tokens.
this.
I feel like, yeah, that's taking up more tokens than.
Well, I wanted to run as many agents as possible. Why not?
Easy.
Get some
easy.
deep research in there.
I'm really interested what it's gonna bring up. I'm gonna see.
Do you know what? Right. So I've built single page HTML applications before, and I thought, Gergely's got some really awesome kind of, HTML out of this. I really can't wait to see what it builds for me. And then it goes through all of this kind of like design phase. It does loads of different research. I say, use the most modern, design system that you can find. And the thing that comes out is like just like an HTML page. It's like an old Netscape Navigator, IE page from the late 90s. And then you do yours. You've got like background transitions. You've got shadows of ghosts and kind of all of this kind of like cool stuff. And for whatever reason, I'm using the wrong keyboard. It's just keystrokes. My keystrokes are wrong. So your keystrokes are right. My keystrokes are wrong.
I have no idea because I don't edit my prompt. I just type it down once and I'm like, you're an AI LLM, right? You're much smarter than me. You will understand what I want.
Yeah.
You probably know it better than me, what I want.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna let you do your thing.
I don't know, mate. I reckon you've got all of these MCP stuffs going on. You've got like, a little connector out to, I don't know, just some design guild. You've got you've got a connection to the design guild. And
some
that design
sort of
guild,
underground society feeding me.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like this little secret kind of MCP server that only, I don't know, the inner circle can connect to.
There is an API key that's almost like a skeleton key to the internet.
Yeah.
That only a selected few can use. That Elon Musk hands out on his birthday.
And it's got this IP address that kind of recycles like every, 10 minutes. And then it redirects people across kind of like the expanse of time.
Yeah, so Elon Musk sent it out to me to his birthday. It was like a little box of puzzle, like little VT puzzles, and I need to open it like a little Japanese puzzle box, and then it pops out little USB port. Yeah, that's how I achieved to get it.
So what I'm going to do, right? So let's put it down. You saw what I wrote. I said use unlimited agents. I said use the. I can't even remember. Let's scroll back up. I'm pretty sure I said high fidelity design, cutting edge design system that includes animation and 3D walkthroughs.
Goddamn.
So I said all of this stuff. What do you reckon is going to come out the back of that? What do you...
It's going to bring something. So there is a project I've been working on. So I feel like I'm curious if I'm going to try to find it. Just 1 second.
Yeah. Shall we come back to you? And then, because this is going to keep on going for a little while, maybe we can see what the Go Crazy did on your dog project.
It's actually just increased the functionality, but I'm very happy to share. Hold on. Let me share my screen.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go back to you.
So if I share my screen, this is what it brought up. So simply just changed like how it works, why owners chose us.
See what the hell? What? How? How do you get this stuff?
6 sample dogs. So you can read. I was able to load 6 sample dogs.
Gergely, it's built an entire business for you.
Yeah.
It's built. It's kind of, you could go. All you need is a credit card. Kind of, buy me at the
We
top.
call the
Buy
we
my
call the
dog walk.
dash. Yeah, yeah. This is it. Like there is dark mode, right? This is where you register.
Yeah.
That's cool. Show how many dogs walks per week. Tail wigs 100%.
Oh yeah. So this is the thing, right? I bet I get like some kind of really sketchy, kind of, dodgy, just like that micro formats website.
Oh yeah.
I think it profiles me. I think it looks at me through the camera and profiles me.
Yeah, and things. Yeah, well,
But that is actually
um,
really good. That I mean, that is amazing. I mean, the one thing that it doesn't have, right, which is the risk of vibe coding, is that it doesn't necessarily have your business strategy kind of like baked into the actual system itself. It's kind of created something pretty random that looks amazing, but you don't have a business plan. You don't know how you're going to make money from it, and you don't know what the next kind of you know piece of functionality is that you're going to add. And if you
yeah,
add
but
that, is it going to wipe this and come up with something new?
I don't think so because what I was
Ah,
thinking to do
can you see
is,
that?
oh, show me, show me. You got it?
Yeah, it just popped up. Right,
Or
so
let me. I stop sharing. Share it with me.
I will do. Right, so give me a second. For whatever reason.
I'm very excited.
Right, so yeah, you should. I'm actually really excited now. Right, so I'm going to share my entire screen with you. Right, so our audience has actually had a quick look at this, but I'm going to come back to Claude first.
Yeah.
So let's have a look. So architecture, full parallel research agents drafted all of this stuff, single file app, stitched them together, tech stack 3JS, and
Oh,
then
use Vue.js.
GSAP,
Okay.
orbital controls, cabin walkthrough, 5-stop HUD, begin 3D walkthrough, CTA, and floating HUD. Right, I'm going to ask it. Is there anything we need to complete before this can be launched? So I don't know if there's any other background tasks, but in the meantime, whilst it's doing that, let me take you through this. This is it.
Oh, oh, I
Yeah.
love that. Oh, I love that so much.
Let's see if that's
I
pretty
mean,
cool.
it is cool. Yeah.
A
I mean,
cabin
the
raised
detail,
by
obviously.
hand in 14 days, where ancient oak meets honey stone beneath Cotswold skies. Do you want to see a 3D walkthrough?
Yes, please. You
Right.
have buttons there. First view from the wood path. Next.
Charred timber
Okay,
meets golden window light. Oh, well, I mean, I thought it was going to go through the door.
I thought it's going to show the inside. I mean, I'm excited. But this is actually insane. So what else is on the website?
I'm sure there was so there's see the
Oh,
14-day
at the
plan.
top.
So there's a philosophy button, a discipline of materials, light and patience. The hand can feel what the eye begins. There's lots of different color palettes.
Could you please submit this on HTML Heaven?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, this is actually pretty good. I prefer a different
That's so cool.
color. I'm not that keen on kind of like fully black design, but it's pretty striking. You know,
So what?
and you got the
Oh yeah,
craft
oh yeah, the
signatures.
transistor. On the 40 days at the end, this is the 14-day plan. First day, clear site and set out. Excavate and pour. That's really good.
Yeah, but I don't know where you get to the. Oh, there's the 14-day plan there. Oh, that's pretty cool. Look, so it's I can scroll across and
Yeah,
then see what I need to do over those 14 days.
it's really funny that he thinks you can finish it in 14 days. It's
Well,
literally
obviously,
gaslighting you.
it hasn't necessarily gone into the level of detail that you need. but yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
Nice. That's
Um,
amazing.
let's see what it says here. A few real gaps, right? So, can you use as many agents as possible to close these gaps? Refresh. Right, so I don't know what it's asking. I mean, what is this? I don't know what it's asking. I should have read it a little bit. But yeah, no, so that's cool. Yeah, and I'll contribute that to HTML Heaven, and I'll also contribute all of the ones I did previously as well, because
Yes, please.
they're pretty fun.
So they can be there.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you, James. I feel like we have reached the end. Well, I need to stop here. For
Yes,
this
no problem.
section.
That is fine. Let's bring you back up. So we've been on here now for just over an hour, which it's been a good one. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it as
And it's
well.
good to do the vibe coding challenge. I'm going to see, so we'll do our little bit of a goodbye, and then I'm going to flick back to see whether Claude Code has managed to, add anything else to. It's actually called, is that Hearth? Is that what it's called? The Hearth website?
It named it the Earth website. It's actually really good.
That's a quite nice name. It's quite a nice name.
And you got a really good website there. You can't complain about that one.
No, that's it. I've got to take it all back now. It's actually done something pretty good.
You don't have to complain. Like, you can't say you're being discriminated.
No, I think you have to really overcompensate on what it is that you want. Like, build me the most fantastic website that you can even possibly imagine, with all of these shining bells and whistles and walkthroughs and
Yeah.
3D animation. And then you get Hearth. With a little box cabin in the middle.
Earth. Yeah, and it's just a box coming, like, walks through, and it just zooms you in the same.
It goes to the door.
Zooms you on the door from 3 different directions.
So yeah,
I was hoping it shows like how the different join together with different timber without nails, because that's what like Japanese joinery is famous about, that they never use nails
right.
or glue. It's just the way it's cut. They just move together.
Yeah, it didn't really look very Japanese to me.
No.
Not in those terms.
No.
Not in those terms. Right. So one final flick back to Claude. No, it's still vibing. Should we say goodbye and call it a night?
Yeah, it was an absolute pleasure as always, and I'm looking forward for next week, James. This is the best way to end my week every week.
Yeah, so, nice. I'm pleased. I really enjoy it as well. It's such a good fun. It's a really good way to take a deep breath and explore AI. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you very much, and I see you very soon.
Yeah, and you, Gergely, have a great week ahead, and I'm looking forward to meeting everybody on the next Engineering Signal this time next week. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
There we go. We are done.
Nice.
That was really
Sorry,
good.
I don't